welcome everybody. I'm Rachel Rose. I'm the face behind Workshop Muse, and just really happy to have so many folks here for this event coming. This is Diana Dunkley. I'm going to pass it off to Diana really quick here. She's the brainchild artist behind this project who approached me to see if we could make it happen. And so we're just thrilled to be able to bring this idea here to you. So those of you, I'll just say it one last time, all you need is paper, pen, and journal and markers, your favorite color medium, that sort of thing. It's going to be very simple. Everything else will be either within you or very nearby you. So very low key here today. And I think what I'll do is I'll just pass it off to Diana right now. And Diana's going to share with you a bit about the origins of this project, how it came to be, and what we're kind of hoping to inspire in all of you today. So yeah, go ahead, Diana.
Okay. I'm really excited to have everybody here. This is something else. Excuse me. Thank you, Rachel, for your enthusiasm for the Respect Among All Things project and for hosting this forum and sharing your mindful art making guidance with us. I've been participating with Rachel for some years and have always gotten a lot out of everything that she's guided me through. I'm Diana Dunkley, and I've been working with community-involved conceptual projects since my college days at the University of Kansas. I'm also not a practiced public speaker, so as you can probably tell by my glasses, I'm going to read this introduction so I don't forget the important parts. I developed the phrase respect among all things originally as my focus for the harmonic convergence, which was a synchronized global peace meditation, which occurred in August of 1987. And I've used it as a meditation and a prayer ever since. I recently re-energized it as an active conceptual project for an online exhibit called The Power of Connectedness. This is being created by an artist group I belong to, the Pleiades Project, an international artist collaboration. It's super important to me that the work that I'm contributing to this exhibit be worthy of the title. So in searching for a meaningful subject, Respect Among All Things became a new conceptual art project. For me, the understanding that there is a soul in everything, from humans to stones to stardust and the spaces in between, is the basis for this concept. I worked hard to have a group of words that are as all-encompassing as possible, broad-reaching enough to convey what I want to express. As an example of reciprocity in a non-sentient respect, I might say that the floor supports me, and I thank it for that. Or the air supports my life, or water. Or as the theory developed by the physicist David Bohm with the philosopher Krishnamurti proposed, all things, including the cells in our bodies, the minute atoms in a piece of copper, the photosynthesizing cells in a blade of grass, and even things on a universal level like the cosmos, are affected unanimously by something as simple and intangible as a spoken or written word, image, or thought. We're going to be practicing that today. Rachel introduced me to the book Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, which reflects that in indigenous cultures, there are no nouns. That tree is not a thing, it is a being, she says. This book really shares the concept of respect among all things in a beautiful and earth-based way. Kimmerer says, one of our responsibilities as humans is to find ways to enter into reciprocity with the more than human world. I love that, the more than human world. I do think it's good that people interpret the words differently, however. The basis of the concept is to encourage respect through reciprocity and recognition of everything around us, known and unknown, however that manifests. Here's a little bit about the respect among all things concept. The idea behind this is that more things that are introduced to the phrase respect among all things, the more likely it is to manifest. This project is presented to you to be considered, adopted, discussed, shared, and or collaborated with in as many ways as are conceptually possible. It has no end. Regarding the words I selected to be the most meaningful expression of the concept, respect is an honoring and an acknowledgement. Among represents reciprocity, and Indra's net of respect. Whereas if it had been 4, it would imply a one-way giving without the receiving or reciprocity. All is meant to be totally inclusive, as is things. Sometimes people want to replace things with beings, implying the sentient, but since my understanding is that there is a soul in everything, things is much more all-encompassing. Here are a few examples of the ways I'm creating with this concept. Excuse me. First of all, the Zoom background that I have here, every time I Zoom, people see this. So they're going to be seeing respect among all things. This forum is one, and presenting it with other groups. I'm making yard signs, interviewing people about it, generating artwork, spoken and written word, music, conceptual art, sometimes in collaboration, sometimes as other individuals doing it, sometimes as myself doing it. I'm considering sponsoring an international graffiti competition. And every day I practice and meditate on it. And there are many, many more ways that I am choosing to express this concept of respect among all things. I welcome collaborations, and our collaboration begins with this dialogue. If you want to pursue this project further as an individual or as a collaborator, please do, and don't hesitate to contact me to collaborate. I am open to any and all ideas. I also hope that some of you will share some of your responses from today's forum with me and allow me to put them up on my artist page in the online exhibit. If you just want to share them and don't want them shown in the exhibit, I'd be interested to see them also. Or you can share them and I can put them on the exhibit anonymously. Please send your images and writing to my email address, as well as any other comments or thoughts. That will be available through Rachel's online program today. And it's also on my Facebook page, which is Diana Dunkley at Studio 3D under the About. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody does and feeling the, experiencing the energy that we put out today in this forum. So thank you.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you, Diana.
Sure.
So Diana approached me just to share about this project earlier in the summer, and I was so inspired about how vast it was, about how she's taking something that she's truly curious about, this notion of respect among all things. You can hear her enthusiasm and just how much thought she's had into it. And she is bringing it into so many different creative realms that would be traditionally creative or non-traditionally creative. And I thought that was wildly inspiring. And that's why I wanted to host this event here with you all, because one of my goals in my practice is to open up the bounds of creativity and encourage us to think, you know, outside of our paper and pen, and outside of to think about what we can do in the community, how creativity can be in a conversation or in our bodies and the way we move. And so I just was so inspired. I wanted to be able to take this idea. So we're going to take this idea of respect among all things, and I've put together quite a robust bit of work that we're going to do here. We're going to start with some meditation, and I'm going to very I don't want to say quickly, but very with a lot of attention, we're going to move so that we don't spend time kind of mired in our own stuff. And we're going to create, and we're going to express, and we're going to figure out about respect and honor, and make a few different things along the way. So I want to invite you all to begin by joining me in a meditation. And this meditation comes from the book called Already Free by Bruce Tift, who Buddhism meets psychotherapy on the path of liberation. And I shared this meditation. Some of you who've been with me before, I did this meditation earlier in this year, and it was one of the meditations that Diana just found really deep. So we thought we would bring it again to us here. So if it feels safe, you can close your eyes. If it doesn't feel safe, that's fine too. Just find a place maybe to soften your gaze, look out the window. We're just going to arrive. Feel your body relaxing into your chair or wherever you might be sitting. Just take a moment just to make sure that you're comfortable in whatever way comfort comes to you. And just pay attention to your body. Right now, you've been thinking, you've been listening. Just take a few seconds and just note what's going on with your body. In particular, notice the weight of your body. Feel its energy. Feel the of it. I want you to feel the seat that you're sitting on. Just note that. If it's a chair or a cushion or the floor or wherever you are, just feel how this is supporting you right now. You don't have to do anything to deserve that support. All you have to do in this moment is just feel it. Feel your body as it's resting on the earth. What it's like to have that support. Support that you don't have to earn or purchase. You don't have to perch on your seat. Your seat is there supporting you. So take a moment and offer your seat some respect, some gratitude. And in return, feel and recognize that respect that the chair is offering you. Take a moment and become aware of your breath now. Feel it coming in, feel it going out, feel the rhythm of your breath. Feel how your breath is supporting you. It doesn't matter if you're neurotic or sane, a good person or a bad person, happy or sad. Your breath is supporting you regardless. It may not last forever, but for right now, your breath is supporting you. Take a moment and offer your breath some respect and thanks. And in return, feel your breath respecting you, being there for you. Your body is supporting you. Remember, right now, all of the complex systems that are coming together to form your body. Your skeleton, your muscles, your mind, your organs. Your body is here right now supporting you. You don't have to do anything to deserve support from your body. Take a moment and just offer some respect to your body, some thanks, some honor. And in exchange, feel the way that your body is respecting you. The planet is supporting you. There's a workable range of temperature. The atmospheric gases are just in the right proportions for you. Gravity's working well. The seasons are working, and you don't have to do anything to deserve that support. It's already present. You can relax into the reality that you're already being supported. Perhaps not perfectly, but adequately. Take a moment and offer some respect to this planet that's supporting you right now. And in exchange and in reciprocity, feel the way that the planet is supporting you. You are supporting it. You could even imagine that this crazy society is supporting you. There's food in the grocery store, there's gas at the pumps. People are generally following the law. The streets are paved in some capacity. You have access to electricity in some capacity. It's not perfect, but even society is supporting you in its own way. You don't have to deserve it. Society is still going to be operating. Allow yourself to feel that sense of support. It's always present. You don't have to do anything to deserve it or create it. Offer some respect to the society, as crazy as it might be. See if you can feel society trying to respect you, as little as that might be. Just take a moment and just relax into a state of well-being in this moment. Rest in the unconditional experience of well-being and support. You don't have to do anything to make it happen. All you need to do is relax into the way things already are. Offer your attention. Notice the respect that you feel for all the systems of support in your life. And in exchange, all those systems that are supporting you, the way that they respect you. You might want to just find a way with your body, your hands. Might feel right to just bring this to a close by placing your hands on your hearts or opening up a bit or taking a breath, offering a word of gratitude, just whatever feels right for you. Way to seal that practice, bring it to a close. Whenever it feels right, you can open your eyes and begin to kind of rejoin this virtual space that we're all in. And so, with that grounding energy and that expansive meditation, reminding us of all the different ways that the world is respecting us and the ways that we can respect the world, I want to invite you to just take a moment. And in your mind's eye, we're going to just recall something beloved to you. Perhaps it's a person or a pet or a place, a plant, a creature, a feeling. I want you just to go with whatever the first thought is around something beloved to you and bring it to your mind's eye. Just take a moment just to be with that. What is it that makes you feel that love and that connection that makes it so beloved? Perhaps there's an image or a moment or a symbol of that beloved treasure. Now I want to invite you to move to your art journal, and I'm going to give you just a few moments to do a single line drawing. You can draw the beloved thing, you can draw the moment, you can draw a symbol, whatever comes to you. I don't want you to lift your pencil off the paper. I want it just to be a single line of just a few. We're going to give you about a minute or two of just kind of playing with single line and really exploring the beloved in your life. There's no rules to break here. If you left your pencil, that's okay. The intention is just to play with the line, play with your beloved. I want you to feel that respect, connection you have with something so beloved. Whenever it feels right, no rush, you can keep with your single line. But if you feel complete, I want you just to write the word I respect. I want you just to write I respect and finish that statement in whatever way feels right. It might be a collection of words, might be a line of poetic verse, but just see if you can capture in a few words around how you respect that beloved thing or how that beloved thing respects you. Just offering our attention, our focus, our intention to something beloved, something that some of us are pretty good at in our lives with certain beloved things. We tend to make time and space to show our care and feed that. But at other times, it can be hard even to feel that respect and connection to things that we are treasured, that are treasured in our lives. The funny experience of being human, not quite as easy as we would think it would be to be with something that is so treasured and beloved to us. And it's okay. So we're going to move on and expand this respect, this realm of respect into other things. And so, what I want to invite you to do now is I want to invite you to find an object that's nearby you. Don't work or search too hard for this. It might be a paintbrush, it might be a stapler, it might be the TV remote sitting next to you, it might be your mug. Just take a minute and just kind of survey what's nearby you. And if there's a little object there that's kind of like, pick me, pick that one. If you can hold it, that would be lovely because we are going to spend some time with it. So we're going to take a moment just to be with this object and just to show some respect to this object through our attention. So what did I want you to do is I want you just to take a few moments just feeling it. Just feel it with your sensory self, your hands, just touching it, just noticing textures, temperatures, changes in the object. You might want to smell the object. You might just want to take a few moments and kind of run through your senses of sight and touch and sound, all of those sorts of things, and just be with it. And your mind may have already gone there, but just think about, where did this object come from? How has it come to be? Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Maybe there's a personal story connected to it. Maybe it's just something quite mundane. But just take a few moments and try to imagine in your mind's eye where this might have come from. What resources and materials were used to make this? Was it made In a factory somewhere? Was it made by hand somewhere? What might be the chain of events where it came from its origin of simple materials to being in your hand here today? Even in its rawest sense, where did those resources come from that made it? In some capacity, it likely came from the earth, although it may have been transformed and changed many times along its path. What does this object mean to you? Is it significant or insignificant? We're going to just continue this exploration through writing now. And I want to invite you just to write the words, this is the story of. This is the story of. And I'm going to give you a few moments just to openly and freely write. So please don't worry about grammar or spelling or anything. You're just going to kind of maybe fill a page of this is the story of the pencil, or this is the story of the stapler, whatever it is. And I'm going to give you a few moments just to see where that writing might take you. And again, don't overthink it. Just capture it as it comes to you. So whenever it feels right, you're welcome to continue writing, continue on, or you might feel compelled to do a sketch of your object, or maybe just a simple, we could go back to single line drawing if you want. We just want to kind of visually capture some of the energy or some of the beauty of this to pair with our words, to pair with our story. Almost a companion, if you will. Just take some time just to be with the object again, and might even be just that you sketch an element of it, but I'll give you another few minutes just to do the writing and the sketching, or one or the other, whichever you prefer. at any time you find that there's unhelpful voices that are popping up saying, "Oh, what do you think you're doing sketching this?" Or "This part's a little weird or wonky," or "You don't write, what are you doing?" Just remind yourself, just say thank you for your concern, that the purpose of this is not really about my skills or abilities. It is about showing respect, finding reciprocity. If we stay with that intention, we can kind of let go. It's not the purpose. The purpose isn't making something beautiful here today. So we'll give you another minute or two just to bring your writing or your sketch or both to some place of closure. And as a close to this section, I want to invite you just to write the words "I honor" and kind of complete that sentence in whatever way feels right, whether it's words or a poetic phrase, but I honor this object, and you might want to name it, and just whatever feels right. Just name and note that honor as a way to complete. I can see, even just from where I'm sitting right now, countless objects around all of you that we could offer our attention to, offer a backstory to, offer some inquiry. Just again, as a matter of intention to do that and attention to deliver towards it. And our relationship suddenly changes to these objects that may have just been forgotten or taken for granted or not noted in the way that maybe they are deserving of. I'll give you just 30 more seconds, maybe just to bring this to a close with writing your word of honor. You're always welcome to come back and tweak things or play with things or continue to explore things down the line. And so there's one more piece that we want to show some respect to here, something else that we're going to build on in our ever expanding ring of respect. And that's something within us. So I want to invite you again, if it feels safe, to close your eyes. If not, you can look out a window. At any point, if it feels too much for you to go inwards or to look into your body, no problem. I'll give you instructions for that in a moment. I would just invite you, if it felt like too much at any point, just to find a natural object to look at and just be with that natural object. But for those of you who feel like it is safe to go within, I invite you to close your eyes, take a few breaths. Just return to that inner space. Just arrive home. What I want to invite you to do is I want you just to think about, not think about, I want to invite you just to note something within you. So this might be, your lungs, your breath, your stomach, your skin, your skeleton, some of the things we've already explored in the meditation, but it also might be a feeling, a sensation. It might be a positive thing, it might be a negative thing. Same as we did with the object, I want you just to follow your kind of inner wisdom and whatever thing is kind of piquing your curiosity the most, kind of saying, me, pick me, please. Pick that thing. And just take a few moments and just be with that thing within, whatever it is. Get a bit curious about it. How do you relate to it within? How does it connect with you? There are feelings or sensations that come with it. Does it speak the language of emotions? Or does it just speak the language of movement and embodiment? And just stay with it for just a few more minutes, a few more seconds here. Now, whenever it feels right, I want to invite you to move back to your paper. And I want you to start by exploring that in shape, line, and color. This can be an abstract creation. This can be a literal creation. Just trust the languages of shape, line, and color to guide you here. What is the right color for this? What shapes are inherent to this or help express this? What are the lines like? Are they quick? Are they sharp? Are they solid? Do they move? Could almost be a doodle, if you will. Taking this inward, this piece within, and just welcoming it out in shape, line, and color, being intentional about those choices that we make. Not again for the purposes of aesthetics, but for the purposes of expression. So just remind yourself again, if what you're making, your mind is like, well, I don't get it, or I'm not liking it, just remind yourself that this is about connecting to that rather than depicting that. So again, just using the language of shape, line and color, just to take that inner experience and welcome it out onto the page, just getting a new perspective of it. Have the feeling experience of it, showing it some attention, and then welcoming that out in a different language through shape, line, and color. When you feel like you've found a kind of place of completion or some kind of close to your shape, line, and color, I want to now invite you just to write 4 to 6 words. 4 to 6 words. So these might be adjectives, words we would use to describe things. These might be feelings. This might be words, nouns that are imagery or symbols, that sort of thing. But just settle on 4 to 6 words that just kind of feel like, yeah, these pair with either the experience I had looking within or the sketch that I just did with shape, line, and color. And so those words may want to turn into like a poem or be integrated into your sketch, or they might just need to just be words that are just there as another linkage to another form of expression, language. The language of emotion often is what the words will help us express. So if you feel compelled to kind of make them a bit poetic and add a bit more, that's okay. If they want to just sit as words, that's perfect too. Give me another minute or so just to do your 4 to 6 words. And as a close to this, I want you to write the word thank you. And then I want you to finish that as a sentence. Thank you to my skeleton. Thank you to my skin. Thank you to whatever the thing is. And just finish that as a kind of summative sentence. Thank you. And so you've already gone on quite a creative journey here already in just a very short period of time. But I have one last creation that I want to ask you to do here before we move to our discussion. So I want you just to go back to the beginning, and I want you just to think about when Diana shared with you this notion of respect among all things, sharing about her project and her work and her interest and her curiosity and all the ways she's taking it out. And I want you just to then go back to that meditation that we did, the Bruce Tift meditation, where we felt ourselves in our chairs and we felt ourselves in this kind of ever expanding ring, finding respect and finding support and finding that reciprocity. And then we started with something beloved. I asked you to think about something beloved, something that was kind of easy to come to mind around something that you show respect for and care for. And you did a single line drawing. You might want to go back and kind of just look at that drawing. You wrote, I respect next to it, and wrote about what you respected about it. And then you spent some time with an object, getting to know it more, feeling it with your senses, exploring it with your senses, and then kind of imagining its history and its story and how it came to be with you. And then you captured that story of it. And you started to sketch it and wrote what you honor about it. And then just now you went within. You found something asking for some attention. And you depicted that experience of that thing within in shape, line, color, and offered it some words and thanked it for something. We think about the phrase again that Diana has brought to us, respect among all things. Respect among all things. And I want you to think about all the work you just did over the last almost hour. And I want you to think, is there a theme that's kind of emerged for you here? Or an insight that maybe is really standing out, or something that is really kind of piquing your curiosity? It might be something big. It might just be a little ounce or a whisper of something that's kind of like, ooh, I don't know, there's something about that. And as a final close to this, I want you to invite you to go back in expressing in whatever way feels right. So might be that you go back to shape, line, and color. Might be that you bring some words. It might be that you sketch something. There might be a symbol or an image or a phrase or something that's really standing out for you. And I want to just give you the next 5 to 10 minutes to just capture that and bring that to the paper, whether it is just through imagery or shape, line, and color, or there's a written component, or both. And it's just a summative activity. It's almost just a way to look back at all this creation and just say, what is still there for me? What am I taking away from this? What is the thing I want to remember, or the standout theme, or the thing I'm still so curious about? So I want to invite you just to trust this process and just go to your pain and see what emerges over the next, maybe like 6 or 7 minutes probably. So again, it might feel comfortable for some of you to be working in shape, line, color, visuals, that sort of thing. But I would encourage you to bring it to another form of expression as well. Maybe write a one word poem or a one line poem that kind of accompanies it, or give your creation a title is another thing that you can do. This was kind of hanging on a wall. What would be the name of this little sketch that you've just done? What would be the proper title of this? So those can be some ways to be able to bring some written word into it. It also might feel right for some of you to pair some movement with this, to think about if there was an action or some way for you to embody this sentiment or this feeling, what would it be? Whether it's just a simple movement or a way to kind of use your hands or that sort of thing. How would you express it in the language of movement? Some of these forms of expression might feel a little bit uncomfortable or something we're not used to doing, but there is great power in challenging ourselves a bit and taking a bit of a leap to think about, well, what would I do if there was a movement for this? What would it be? What would it feel like in my body? What would these words be? I could go on and on about that, but I won't. Beautiful. So I'll give you another minute or two just to bring this to a place of pause at least. If you feel complete, it might be just worthy just to kind of maybe place your hand on your creation, take a breath, show that expression that you made some respect. Thank it for coming. Just feel the reciprocity, that exchange of respect coming to you and from you. And just as a close to this part of our creative process here, I just want to share with you some words from the book Braiding Sweetgrass. Which you heard Diana talk about earlier. You've probably heard about this book. It's wildly popular and for very, very good reason. The hype is well warranted. It's a truly beautiful book, all about reciprocity and about Indigenous ways of knowing. And I think it's a book I'm going to be buying and gifting people with for years. So we want to share with you a few words from the Thanksgiving prayer that comes from the chapter called Allegiance to Gratitude, which I should have noted is from the Onondaga Nation. It's a gratitude prayer that's often shared from the Onondaga Nation. And we're just going to read you just a tiny little snippet of it. We put our minds together and give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on Earth. Let us gather our thanks for Grandmother Moon today together in a pile. layer upon layer of gratitude, and then joyfully fling that pile of thanks high into the night sky, that she will know. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them at night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered as one, we send greetings and thanks to all the stars. Now our minds are one. So thank you, everyone, for being with me on this very intensive creative journey. I'm going to turn off the recording here at this point so that we can move to some discussion. Diana and I have a number of questions that we'd like to invite people just to share.